And now we continue with our series on business movers, and this week we shine a spotlight on a businessman who shares his time and ideas on Philippine business through the country's biggest business organization, which he now heads.
George T. Barcelon is now the sitting president of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or PCCI, the umbrella organization of business groups in the country and widely recognized as a prime mover in the Philippine business landscape. Let's take a look at his younger years. The Barcelon family has always been in the shoe business, even before the war. His parents, like many others, came from humble beginnings.
Of course, they have a very humble beginning. Like anybody else, no? During the Second World War, nasunog yung mga tindahan namin. They were already, in the shoe store nasunog. So, ako post-war ako eh. I'm not pre-war. Post-war. So I did not see it. But I heard stories at that time. They, in order to survive, yung sa Abidida, ang benta nila hindi naman tindahan, kung hindi yung pushcart lang. Yung mga sapatos namin, pinakuha sa Marikina. Noon, nag-import ng balat, no? And then pinakuha sa Marikina.
But that is getting ahead of the story. George is the eldest boy in a brood of 5. The eldest being a girl. His high school years were spent in a school in Nagtahan run by American missionaries.
Academically speaking, I'm a chemical engineer. Yes, I'm a chemical engineer. I graduated from De La Salle. At that time, it was known as De La Salle College. Okay, and I have a manufacturing background, but also because I started as a salesman. Okay, wherein I was selling rubber sheets. Okay. Yung mga rubber sheets, yung mga ginagamit sa tsinelas, yung suelas, okay. And our company was also involved in shoemaking. Ang brand namin, we're still using the brand, is Bantex. Yes, okay. Matagal yan eh.
Bantex is a family-owned corporation that had its heyday in the 70s and 80s. Even while still in his high school, George got himself involved in the family business in a small way, helping out in the store on weekends. After he graduated from college at De La Salle College, he formally joined the business and lost no time in expanding its operations to involve various product lines. He was also instrumental in the company's going into export. George says that exporting posed several challenges, but among the benefits and perks that came with it was the opportunity to travel. This, he says, afforded him so much joy and opened new opportunities for him to explore.
Kasi meron kaming customer sa Europe. Yung sa customer namin is Italy. We have customer in Australia. We have customer in North America. See? And we have a customer in Europe, Italy. So that was the time where we were able to compete. We made good products. So we were selling in all over the world.
Business was good for till the late 80s, and by that time, George had brought in 2 Taiwanese investors to inject fresh capital into their flourishing business.
During the time of yung 87, 86, I also embarked in getting investors. Nakakuha ko ng 2 investors from Taiwan for shoe export. Okay. Unfortunately, yung period na yun, masyado maraming labor unrest. So my partners, they quit. Actually, sabi niya sa akin, Mr. Barcelon, we know how to make shoes, no? But we don't know how to deal with labor unrest like yours. Sabi niya, napunta sila sa that time, they went to Indonesia.
This was a time of crisis for Filipino businessmen. The power shortage was the most serious challenge that manufacturers faced at the time. But it was also during this time that George saw a new frontier that he could be part of, the computers industry.
So I went into that field. Okay. We're one of the bigger computer reseller, no? Kasi ang market namin ngayon, mga BPOs. Okay. So we cover a broad range of corporate accounts, financial, manufacturing, BPOs. So it has been growing. I've been in that business for more than 30 years. So it has been growing steadily. And we still see an upside to that.
If you come to think of it, George's engineering background doesn't seem to jive with the directions that he pursued. But he thinks otherwise. In everything that he became part of, his background on engineering helped him out, even with his venture into computers.
Swerte ako kasi during I had exposure to computer. Would you believe? Tagal na, 50 years ago. I was exposed to computer in 1967. So, diba? Almost 50 years ago. So, noon, ano ba yung mga computer room? Kasing laki ng itong room nito. Ang lalaki mga computer eh. At saka mga capability nila, talo pa sa yung wristwatch mo. Talo yung sa cellphone.
It is providential that George sees new opportunities which he can share with younger people seeking a career for themselves.
I always look for opportunities, no? Even now, I try to see ano bang may opportunity. At the same time, when I like now, no? When I look at opportunity, when I want to start a business, it's really not to make more money. But for me, it's like providing opportunities.
Aside from attending to his businesses, George has a clarity of mind to acknowledge that not by bread alone does man lives. His company has been a member of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry for well over 30 years. And in the last 10 years, he has been a very active member of the organization where he gets to share in its advocacies. Being an exporter himself, he is also a trustee of the Philippine Exporters Confederation.
I am the president of the foundation is called Manila Golden Lions Foundation. That's an offshoot because I was the president of that club a long time ago. Pero nag-set up kami ng foundation and it's still an ongoing foundation. Yung foundation na yan, we have people donate or we also donate ourselves. And ang ano namin ang focus namin is the public school in Jose Abad Santos Public School.
In his college days, it was natural for George to become a basketball player because of its height. But these days, George has settled well into the sport of golf.
Golfer din ako, but I'm not that competitive. I enjoy golf, no? So I would think like any one of them, probably my handicap should be 20.
He enjoys his stints on the greens and credits himself with influencing his friends June Ortiz into taking up the sport himself.
I'm what you call a good influence for him to play golf. Dati hindi nagko-golf siya eh. But I told him, I said, June, I think you should take up golf. Because that's the only time nasa labas ka, fresh air, sunlight. Siya naman, he used to be a smoker. Ngayon, he plays more than I do. I'm so a gun enthusiast. So I do, shooting.
He counts his family time as one of his priorities now, setting aside his weekends for family. With a brood of 4, 2 daughters and 2 sons, and 3 grandchildren, family bonding is a joy that he revels in.
Well, alam mo yung mga apo, sila mga simple joys sa buhay natin eh, di ba? Every time you get to be with your apo, it's different. Sabi ko sa anak ko, kami, lolo, lola, we have the right to pamper them. But kayo, magulang, you have to be strict with them.
And since travel has always been a joy for him, he also allots travel time with the family, even just short ones. In the evening, he loves to catch up on his reading, and that completes his day. We asked George what advice he can give to our young entrepreneurs.
My advice to them is that they have to go into a career or a business wherein they would put their hearts and mind, especially for the young people. Being an entrepreneur is very challenging. Okay, but this is where it makes the difference. For those who really put effort in learning the craft. Okay? Not learning the craft means to say not only on the products or services that they provide, but really taking care of their people. I think it's very important.
You just met the new president of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. George T. Barcelon, this week's Business Mover.